Hi, I'll be talking about the story of the universe from the beginning to the end. So obviously we're going to be starting from the beginning, which is the Big Bang. Now, Dr. Mather doesn't actually like the term the Big Bang because he feels that it is misleading, that it sounds like the universe started by one big explosion, whereas it was more of an expansion. And he likes the term cosmic expansion. He'd rather coin that to this event. An important thing to note is that we are made up of exploded stars. So our early atmosphere contained hydrogen and helium, but not all the other elements that make us up. And the way that this formed were that exploded stars, or that stars would burn hydrogen and helium into heavier chemical elements, and then they would either explode or they'd let them out gradually, and eventually these elements got recycled in the universe and they came into being, into our beings, and this is how we were formed. So our chin is made of exploded stars. An important factor in talking about how the universe started is how long ago the universe began, and how to measure this. And there are many ways to measure distance. One way is with trigonometry, which is just with triangles, which we all know. And the other way is called the standard candle method, in which the farther away something is, the less bright you can see the light, and the less brightness it will have. And this is an important way to measure enormous distances. So with Hubble's law, he took the speed of individual galaxies and divided it by the distance, and he got a linear graph, and this showed that the universe is indeed expanding, which was people were very skeptical of this at the time, but including Albert Einstein, but this was confirmed by other scientists, and also Dr. Mather, who made a graph in which he plotted the theoretical smooth curve of Hubble's law, and then he also plotted his data with brightness over the distance, and the boxes of his data matched exactly with the curve, and this confirmed Hubble's law. So it was a very important discovery, and one in which he won the Nobel Peace Prize. So to talk more about the universe and how it started, so obviously it started with a Big Bang, with the cosmic expansion 13.7 billion years ago. And before this, or during this time, for a long time, rocks are falling in the universe, and nothing could live. And then right after the rocks stopped falling is when life started forming on Earth. So that was a pretty interesting discovery that they found out. It was interesting when biology figured out that we are related to all kinds of life, which showed that life isn't actually that impossible to form, because we are all from the same mixed components in the mixture. So there are many different observatories that Congress approved in order to learn more about how planets formed, how the universe formed, and just more about this whole notion. There's a gamma ray, infrared, ultraviolet, and X-ray observatories up in space, which have taught us so much more about our galaxy, such as Andromeda coming and colliding into us in about millions and billions of years. But we have learned so much with this satellite, and then the new telescope that he's making, which is utilizing infrared light, in which he can see the really early galaxies, which can only be seen in infrared light. And with this and the Kobe satellite and these new observatories, we're going to learn so much more about our universe and how it formed and how it's going to end. Will we succumb to CO2? We don't know. So yeah, it was a really interesting lecture. I learned a lot, and I hope you enjoyed this video.